Thank you very much.
Anatoly Sharansky has fought heroically, alone, under tremendous pressure, as a proud Jew, as a freedom-loving person, as a man with a mission.
From everywhere, thousands of Jews and non-Jews, they streamed into Washington with but one common agenda.
No, we would not be silent. History will judge. If the world had enough will and resolve to do what you are doing today, to stand up, to be counted, and to make your voices be heard.
Please welcome Natan Sharansky.
Dear family, when small group of Soviet Jews started to fight to move to Israel, they challenged the most powerful empire, the most cruel dictatorship of those days. And that's why many people thought that their struggle, our struggle, is doomed. How can few men and women bring down the empire on their own? But the fact is that we never thought that we are alone. We knew that Jewish people and the state of Israel is with us. From the small demonstration initiated by 4 students at Columbia University in 1964 to the massive rally of 250,000 Jews just here in this place in 87, there were 3 generations of world Jewry who fought for our freedom. Many of your grandfathers fought for our freedom. Many of your parents fought for our freedom. Many of you fought for our freedom. And that what made all the change. So, when in the long years in prison, I was told again and again that I am alone, that I'm abandoned, that we failed. It was enough for me simply to remember all those faces of Jews from America, from Britain, from Canada, who were coming to us, to Moscow, to support us, to understand that KGB is lying. Because you were bringing so much love and so much strength to us. This picture of one Jewish fighting family was always in my head. And that is why it was so clear that whatever will be my personal fate, the outcome of our struggle can be only our victory. This clearness that as long as we all stand together and fight together, we will win is that what gives us hope today in Israel. Because we in Israel go through difficult days. We go from one funeral of the soldier who fell fighting against Hamas yesterday, and another funeral of the family who was tortured and killed 5 weeks ago, but was identified only now. And in between, you go to the family whose children were kidnapped, became hostages. And wherever you go, you hear more and more stories about torture and murder. How you keep going? You keep going by doing it together. When our brave soldiers, real brave soldiers, are fighting, knowing very well that they fight for the future of Israel and Jewish people. When all our country, in solidarity, in mobilization, in devotion, is embracing them, we know we again are one fighting family. Family which is so strong, which has so much love. And you know that there is only one outcome in this battle, our victory. But then we find out that there is another front in this war. And it's not in the tunnels of Gaza, not on the hills of Galilee, but in Harvard, in Yale, in Penn, in Columbia, in all those places who are supposed to be the bastions of enlightenment and wisdom. And from these places we hear today the gleeful cheers of those who watch this most barbaric, awful pogrom in modern history and say, that is liberation movement. They speak about democracy and they are ready to give away on the most and the only democratic country in the Middle East. They speak about justice and they are ready to welcome the killers of babies. They speak about feminism and they are ready to welcome rapists of our girls. And dear friends, we together will fight against those who try to give legitimacy to Hamas. We'll fight for Israel. We'll fight for every Jew. We'll fight against anti-Semitism. We'll fight for the values and against corruption of those values which are in the center of our Jewish identity and American identity. And now look at those tens of thousands of students who came from Harvard and Yale and New York University and Penn and other places. You're not frightened, you're not silenced. Together we'll win because we are one Jewish family. We defeated Soviet Union, we'll defeat our enemies today. And now I want to introduce two of these younger voices of a modern fighting family. Michael Biton and Ariel Makhtar Zadeh. Please.
Ago, my family and tens of thousands of Iranian Jews were forced to flee from the country they had called home for generations. In a moment's notice, their world turned upside down. Jewish leaders were falsely accused of espionage and executed in public squares. Jewish schools were targeted and closed. And Jewish families were forced to forfeit their homes and their businesses. 44 years ago, the Islamic Republic waged its war of terror and intimidation against the Iranian Jewish community. On October 7th, they waged that war against the international Jewish community. In the wake of the revolution, my family made the choiceless choice to leave behind everything they knew in pursuit of everything they dreamt could be. That I am standing here before you all today is beyond my parents' wildest dreams. It is also a manifestation of their greatest nightmare, that we still live in a world where Jews can be butchered in broad daylight as the world watches in silence. But my story is not unique. Our stories as Americans and as Jews may be written in different languages, but their arcs are one and the same. Our ancestors risked everything to reestablish themselves in America, a country they dreamed would be free of Jew hatred. Unfortunately, that dream has not yet been realized. However, one thing has changed. We no longer have to make the choiceless choice that our parents and grandparents did. We will not retreat or flee. Their sacrifice demands so much more of us. Thanks to this great nation, we don't have to resort to flight. We can fight with our voices, our votes, and our feet. And we will, because we know that the future of our country and the future of our people are inextricably intertwined. God bless America, and Am Yisrael Chai.
My name is Michal Biton. I stand here as a Latina immigrant and proud American to represent all those who know oppression. I represent my Argentinian community, still haunted by the AMIA bomb that tore us apart, that killed my best friend's father. Its terrorists never brought to justice. I represent my parents-in-law, Egyptian Jews, who fled Nasser's persecution in Egypt as stateless refugees and built new lives here. I represent my Brooklyn neighbors, Syrian Jews who were held as virtual prisoners in Aleppo and in Damascus, stuck for decades behind an iron curtain of hate. I stand here for all of us who remember that in every generation they stand up against us to destroy us. And for all of us who thank God that America and Israel changed the world and became our safe havens. We stand here united, proud, as Americans who are going to fight back against terror. power, who will fight back against anti-Semitism everywhere, in our streets and in our universities. We stand here in support of Israelis whose fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters and sons and daughters and friends were murdered or taken captive. We stand here in support of our Israeli nation, who has stood up like a nation of lions. A nation of lions. To liberate Israeli and Palestinian children from the nightmare of Hamas. We stand here in the capital of this extraordinary country that has blessed us with freedom our ancestors could never have dreamed of. Here in this promised land that requires each and every one of us to pursue and expand freedom with all of our might. I stand here as a Jewish woman bearing 4,000 years of history from Abraham to my 4-year-old daughter. Proud of our people who will never ever give up hope. Proud of our people who will always seek to partner with others to heal our fractured world. I stand here as an immigrant to this country that I love and call my own, ready to join with anybody who has tasted the opposite of freedom and breathe new life into our great American dream. This is our calling. Our time is now. Our work is urgent. So let us fight with everything we have, with our voices, with our feet, with our votes, with our prayers. Let us fight together against hatred and for life. May the one above bless us with the courage and the strength to write a new chapter of peace and freedom in this nation, in Israel, and around the entire world.
Please welcome the Chair of the Board of Trustees of the Jewish Federations of North America, Julie Platt.
I'm looking out at over 200,000 gathered here today. Thank you for coming. Today, our thoughts are with the victims and survivors of October 7th, with the innocent Israeli and Palestinians suffering because of Hamas's terror, and with the families with empty seats at the dinner table. Today, our thoughts are with the brave soldiers of Israel's defense forces as they defend the state of Israel and the Jewish people. We thank the lone soldiers serving with such courage and all the families who must display courage every day. We also thank the first responders who have shown such incredible heroism. One of them is here with us today, Yossi Landau, Commander Zakai South. Today, our thoughts are with all the Jews around the world who have been the victims of anti-Semitic hate and violence. Most of all, today our thoughts are with the Israeli people as they seek peace and security. Hear, hear. I now have the tremendous honor of introducing our cherished friend and our collective hero. We know him, we trust him, we admire him, and we are filled with gratitude for his strong leadership. Friends, joining us live from the eternal capital of the State of Israel, Jerusalem, please Please welcome the President of Israel, Isaac Herzog.
Thank you, Julie. Shalom, friends, sisters and brothers, achyotai ve'echai. I am speaking to you from the single most sacred site in the Jewish world, the Kotel, the Western Wall in Jerusalem. The Kotel that reminds us that Am Israel, we, the people of Israel, are eternal and no one will break us. From the Jewish symbol of fulfillment of our ancient dreams to the American symbols of freedom, liberty, and democracy. Thank you. Thank you to the hundreds of thousands who gathered from all over the United States, all people of goodwill, friends from different communities, faiths, and denominations who have gathered today for this massive show of solidarity. In the state of Israel's darkest moment, you stood up and declared, Hineni, I am here. We are here. There's no greater and more just cause than this. Today, we come together as a family, one big mishpacha, to march for Israel. To march for the babies, the boys and girls, women and men viciously held hostage by Hamas. To march for the right of every Jew to live proudly and safely in America, in Israel, and all around the world. Above all, we come together to march for good over evil, for human morality over bloodthirst. We march for light over darkness. "80 years ago, Jews came out of Auschwitz and vowed never again. As the blue and white flag was hoisted over our ancient homeland, we vowed never again. 40 days ago, a terrorist army invaded the sovereign state of Israel and butchered hundreds upon hundreds of Israelis in the largest massacre since the Holocaust. Let us cry out together, never again, never again, never again is now. The Hamas savagery and crimes against humanity bring to my mind, as President Biden has said, the worst rampages of ISIS. We, the people of Israel, are grateful to President Biden, his administration, and so many members of Congress on both sides of the aisle. The moral clarity and bold actions of our American allies demonstrate the depth of the U.S.-Israel alliance, which is stronger than ever before. Since October 7th, Israeli society and the Jewish people have truly come together in unison. We feel our hearts beat as one. We hear our brothers and sisters' blood crying out to us from the ground, Kol dmei achicha tzoakim elai min ha'adama. Once again in Jewish history, we demand, let our people go. Whilst our loved ones are held captive in Gaza and our soldiers are fighting for our beloved Israel, Jews all over the world are assaulted for being Jewish. The lies, the brutality, the disgraceful anti-Semitism are an embarrassment to all civilized people and nations. Jews in America must be safe. Jews all over the world must be safe. I salute you, the women and men who stand up to massive hatred and pressure in the community or on campus. Just as you stand with us, we stand with you. Dear brothers and sisters, dear friends, as President of the State of Israel, Medinat Israel, I vow to you from Jerusalem, from the Kotel, that we will heal, we will rise again, and we will rebuild. To paraphrase the prophet Zechariah, boys and girls shall once again play in the streets of Be'eri and Sderot, and the elderly shall sit peacefully by the walkways of Nachal Oz and Ofakim. And when the sounds of life and laughter return to the villages, the kibbutzim, and the cities, our constant yearning for peace will return as well. Together we pray for the safe return of our hostages. Together we pray for the full recovery of the wounded. And together we pray for our beloved sons and daughters in the IDF. May God bless them and keep them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmor v'yatzil et chayaleinu. Together we grieve, and together we shall overcome. Am Yisrael Chai. God bless Israel. God bless America.